Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Now imagine waking up every morning not in your bed, but on stage. Makeup applied by strangers' hands. A costume sewn to someone else's measurements. The script written in handwriting you barely recognize. You step out to perform. You argue, love, suffer, achieve. And in the most crucial moments, you catch yourself thinking, why do these words sound so familiar? Why does this gesture feel rehearsed? You believe this is your life, your genuine emotions. But what if it's not? What if you're just the lead actor in a play called Your Past? And the premiere happened long before you learned to speak. You live under the rule of a great, comforting deception. You've been told, the past is yesterday. It's over. Look forward. This idea is convenient. It lets you feel movement, progress. But it's an illusion of movement, like a hamster on a wheel. Because while you run forward, the very wheel driving everything is cast from events, feelings, and decisions that are 5, 10, 20 years old. You don't leave the past behind. You drag it along like an invisible gravitational stone that warps the space of your present. The cruel yet liberating truth is this. Your past isn't a set of pictures in a memory album. It's an active character, a live agent. Right now, as you process what you're hearing, the structures of your brain are conducting a quiet, lightning-fast negotiation. They compare the current moment, the tone of the narrator's voice, the meaning of these words, your physical state, with the vast library of past experiences. And based on this negotiation, they deliver a ready-made emotion, impulse, interpretation. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as you learned to see it to survive back then. You're not the director. You're a well-prepared actor who thinks he's improvising, but is actually reciting a long-memorized script. We don't influence the past. We incarnate it. We embody it in every cell of our behavior. Flinch at a sudden sound? That could be an echo of parental arguments. Freeze when attention is on you? Maybe it's a trace from school hallway taunts. Drawn to people who are cold and distant? Congratulations, you're reproducing the dynamic where love was a reward you had to earn by overcoming distance. This isn't a spontaneous soul choice. It's reproducing an inner architecture built long ago. Today, we won't talk about letting go of the past. That's too abstract. We'll talk about demystifying it and renegotiating the contract. We'll shatter the myth of its absolute power. The myth that, I'm this way because something happened back then. That's a childish position, even though many adults hold it. It makes you helpless. The truth is, the past gave you the material, but you're the architect of the future structure. You can't change the fact that you were given bricks of a certain shape, but you decide what to build with them, a prison wall or a fortress. Insight 1. The neurological framework of reality. How the brain shapes the present from yesterday's clay. Imagine the brain not as a mysterious organ, but as a landscape full of roads. At first, it's a blank meadow with billions of potential paths. The first experience, a strong emotion, is the first trail. Intense fear, deep joy, sharp humiliation. They leave a mark in the neural network. The next similar experience follows the same route because it's energetically efficient, not to carve a new one, but to deepen the existing. That's how a trail is born. After hundreds of passes along the same path, it becomes a dirt road, then a highway, and eventually a superhighway. This is neuroplasticity in action. Neurons that fire together wire together. Your childhood trauma isn't just a memory. It's a team of engineers who hastily laid the first, maybe not the best, but the most accessible highway for your survival. For example, to avoid my father's anger, I need to be quiet and invisible. The hide and conceal road is built. Now, when adult you faces a boss's rage, a partner's shout, even a stranger's raised voice, your brain, seeking energy efficiency, instantly sends you down this superhighway. You freeze, your voice drops, your gaze falls. This isn't conscious cowardice. It's the efficient operation of an automatic system using old, proven blueprints. Your relationships are a test drive of these highways. You choose people who activate familiar routes. The pull toward bad boys or cold beauties isn't a twisted taste. It's searching for signs pointing to the entrance of a familiar, even hellish neural highway called love as overcoming pain. In this way, your current decisions in love and career are often not free choices, but following the widest, most illuminated neural freeway. You're not heading toward happiness, but predictability. The brain worships predictability, even if it's the predictability of suffering. Because for the ancient parts of the brain, uncertainty is scarier than pain itself. You're not living your life. You're rehearsing old scripts with new actors. Insight 2: Ghosts in the negotiation machine. Who do you really see in front of you? Consider a classic argument scene. You say to your partner, "You never listen to me. You're always wrapped up in your own stuff." On the surface, it's a dialogue between two adults. But look deeper. Whose face emerges through your partner's features at the height of your fiercest attack? Not theirs. Maybe it's your father's, forever buried in the newspaper, or your mother's, lost in her depressions. This is the psychological phenomenon of transference. You transfer feelings, expectations, and fears from old, unresolved relationships onto the new person. All your communication is soaked in this substituted recipient. You demand not just a report from your boss, but paternal approval. You seek not just interest in a woman's eyes, but maternal unconditional acceptance. And when they, being just people with their own boundaries and limitations, can't provide that, you feel not disappointment but betrayal. The old one. You punish them not for their mistakes, but for the sins of your ghosts. This turns any relationship into an unbearable arena where not two living people fight, but a crowd of shadows from each person's past. Your chronic insecurity, that shadow trailing you, is also a dialogue with a ghost. It's the inner child who once heard, "You can't do it. Be like everyone else. Don't stand out." And now, before taking a step, you don't assess real risks. You glance back at this inner critic and ask for permission. Your achievements aren't always joy. Often, they're an attempt to finally shut it up, to prove, "See, I can." But the ghost doesn't eat proof. It feeds on your very belief that proof is needed. Insight 3: The prophetic mechanism. How your fear writes the script it then performs. A brain that's endured trauma doesn't trust the world. Its main job isn't to make you happy. It's to prevent a catastrophe from repeating. So it becomes a hyperactive fortune teller. It doesn't wait for the future. It builds it from scraps of fear. Take the pain of rejection. Suppose you've been dumped in the past. The brain concludes, rejection is a deadly threat to a social creature. Avoid it at all costs. How does it do that? It doesn't just warn you. It changes your behavior. When meeting a potential partner, fear-driven brain makes you either overly clingy and agreeable, fear, "If I don't please them right away, I'll be rejected," or cold and distant, fear, "Better to reject first so it doesn't hurt." Both strategies distort your natural self. Both create an unnatural, tense dynamic. Your partner senses either suffocating hunger or an icy wall. And what happens? They pull away. The brain instantly locks it in. "See, I told you." Rejection. It didn't predict the event. It provoked that very reality with its panic. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy on a neurobiological level. In long-term relationships, this turns into a vicious cycle. Fear of being abandoned makes you cling, control, check phones, stage jealousy scenes. It chokes the trust and freedom love needs. Your partner feels trapped. Their love dies. They leave, and the brain celebrates. Catastrophe averted. Wait, no, it happened. But I was right that it could. The system works flawlessly, shielding you from ghosts while creating new monsters in the present. So what's the way out? It's not about forgetting or forgiving in some sentimental way. The exit is in rewiring the system. Not fighting symptoms like anxiety or jealousy, but changing the core algorithms that generate them. The path of rewriting, from automaton to author. Step 1. Archaeology of the self. Stop saying, "I'm this way." Start saying, "A program is kicking in within me." Become a detective of your own mind. Next time a familiar emotion hits, anger, panic, sharp shame, don't dive into it. Step back. Ask, when did I feel this for the first time? What situation? What person is behind this feeling? The goal isn't to blame parents. They were prisoners of their own programs, but to find the source code. Get to know your jailer face to face. You're not your anxiety, you're the one observing it and exploring its origins. This is an act of separation. Step 2. Conscious sabotage of the automaton. This is the hardest, most energy-draining part. You must consciously, time and again, choose not to follow the fast neural highway. It will feel wrong, silly, inefficient. When the old path screams, freeze, you take a tiny step forward. When the program whispers, attack and shout to defend yourself, you take a deep breath and stay silent. Each action is like dynamite blasting the old pavement and gravel for a new trail. This is true existential confidence. Not the absence of fear, but readiness to act even when your entire neural map points elsewhere. Step 3. Diplomacy with the present moment. Before responding to a partner, colleague, or friend, create a mandatory pause. In that pause, ask, who am I talking to right now? The real person in front of me, or a ghost whose mask they're wearing in my perception? This micropause is your space of freedom. In it, you can choose a conscious response from the present, not an automatic reaction from the past. It turns communication from unconscious exchanges of blows into a chance for genuine connection. Liberation from the past isn't erasure, it's reevaluation. You can't erase a scar, but you can change its meaning. From a sign of defeat to a badge of survival. From proof of inadequacy to evidence of a journey taken. You renegotiate the deal. Yes, these events happened. They shaped these neural paths. But from today, their power isn't absolute. I acknowledge them, but revoke their mandate to control my present. When you start this work, something strange happens. Not just your behavior changes, your attraction shifts. You stop broadcasting signals of wounded prey or hungry predator. You begin radiating signals of whole being, and the people entering your life change. Chaotic, dramatic characters just lose common ground with you. Their keys no longer fit your new locks. Into your field come those with whom dialogue is possible without ghosts, contact without transfers. The chains of the past aren't iron. They're woven from unfinished conversations, unprocessed grief, unspoken anger, unshed tears. Breaking them doesn't mean pretending they never existed. It means completing the incomplete, living out what was blocked, saying into the void what wasn't said then, allowing yourself to feel the old pain from the standpoint of an adult who can endure and understand it, not a helpless child. Only what's fully lived loses its demonic power. Your past isn't a curse. It's raw material, clay you're molded from. You can keep wearing the shape of the old, uncomfortable vessel you were poured into. Or, with immense effort, patience, and awareness, you can begin remolding that clay. Not to become someone else, but to become yourself, the one distorted but not destroyed by history. You're not captive to the past. You're captive to your loyalty to its distorted version. The key has always been in your hand. You just long believed it was handcuffs.